All right, welcome to Braveheart Fridays. Today we're talking about what happens when your business gets in trouble. Now this is the third week of our series, so make sure you go back and watch the other two. Because the first week we talked about mindset, that you need to have emotional stability through it. And then last week we talked about what defensive actions do you need to take. Right. So this week we want to talk about offense. How do we as business owners go on the offense when our business is faced with trouble, when it's faced with some loss or some tragedy has happened? So Randy, what does the offense look like?
Right, so knowing you've cut your expenses, you have peace about what you've done on the downside. On the upside, it's time for you to look at your business with fresh eyes to help you determine what are the places within your business that are the most profitable and those that are either the least profitable or are actually losing money. So sometimes you're going to have to go back and shut down divisions within your company to be able to free capital up, to push it towards the things that are making you the most money so that you have the best chance to try to recover within your business.
I think we've seen that with some business owners where certain locations will actually make more money. Mm-hmm. So if we can shut down the location that makes the least amount of money, maybe that's the way that we can turn it around.
Right.
Also, I wanted to talk about, this is kind of a side issue, but I think it comes up when a business owner gets really desperate. Something's happened. So he's looking for a get-rich scheme, even though he wouldn't say it like that, right? So can you give us some examples that you've seen business owners faced with trouble or maybe just wanting to make a quick buck and what happens in those scenarios?
Yeah, the stress causes temptation to foolishness. And the foolishness is exemplified in a number of ways. Sometimes it's that they decide that there's an awesome piece of real estate that they can buy and flip, and if they have no background doing that, no expertise, then typically they don't know what they're doing and they're going to get burned in that. I've seen people go to Vegas and decide that they're going to take the company's capital or a part of it and go to Vegas and see if they can recover that way. Wow. That doesn't typically turn out well.
The house always wins.
I've even seen had clients that engaged in steps towards, on the internet, people will email you and try to get you to, they want to send money into the country from Nigeria or wherever it is. And so one of my clients went pretty far down the road, was going to Canada theoretically to pick up money and bring it into the country. But of course we were able to stop him from leaving the country, but he did end up getting his operational capital stripped from his bank account because he gave his personal information out. So people will do all kinds of stuff when they're in stress. So you've got to, with building a plan, it gives you something you can stand on and something you can execute without being foolish.
So let's talk about building the plan. I think what's interesting about this scenario is you can't work on the plan that you used to have because so many things have changed. So you have to build a new plan. So can you talk about, how do you put your assets and liabilities on the table, and what kind of new plan is this going to take for someone to turn it around?
Well, the idea that you've got to have a plan is a big deal. Let me just start with this, because when you're talking to your creditors, part of talking to your creditors is going to be selling them on your long-term plan to recover. And so you've got to be able to explain to them the steps that are going to change if necessary. Now, sometimes the steps don't really need to change. Sometimes the reason you are in trouble is, like I said, because an employee stole money, not because you have a bad business model. Other times you've lost money because some portion of your company isn't profitable anymore because the economy's changed and competition from overseas, and we've had this with a number of our clients that have had to adjust their worlds because of competition from China or other parts of the world. So we have to constantly reinvent ourselves and stay up on what we're doing, and so this is going to be one of those times where you just have to retool hard.
Yeah, and I think the key here is sell it to everyone, but especially yourself. So this is the last video of our series. I hope you enjoyed what to do if you're faced with a possible loss of your business, and we hope that you've learned some really important information. And we hope that you comment and let us know what you think, and we will see you next week.